I love cookies. I love cookies. I love cookies. I love cookies.
Welcome to Cookies, the world's most influential basketball podcast. It is Monday, May 4th, and we stand on the brink of Cookies Civil War 2. More Cookies Civil Wars. Andrew, are you locked and loaded?
I'm locked and loaded because I'm on the right side of future history, man. We will prevail. We will win. The we is a really muddy picture.
My hatred of you has never been so deep and searing.
That's right. My contempt has built up so much in 559 episodes that I really need these two teams to express how I really feel.
It's not enough to do it 2 hours a week to perfection. I need it now on the hardwood. I need our respective teams to wage battle for our love.
Yeah. And of course, I'm speaking as a Joel Embiid day one. So let's just clear that out.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about the Orlando-Toronto series that never manifested.
Whoa.
I was really hoping that was going to come to fruition.
I love IQ, man. I spent $200 on an autographed piece of cardboard featuring IQ's likeness. Big fan.
I've been spreading some basketball card related lies about you. I think it's sort of true. It's probably true. I was talking with, a mutual friend of ours who's in the art world, and he's getting into basketball card collecting. And I was like, Andrew Kuo lost his hat on Tari Eason rarities. I'm just getting that out. I'm like, Kuo went broke. He spent all of his money on these exclusive.
I spent a couple $100 on Eason's, man. I got that gold 1 of 10.
He's in the poorhouse. He's walking around with a barrel on straps because of Tari Eason's failure to ascend to my guy status.
Last night, I was ready to go to sleep after watching the dust settle from various NBA round one games. And I was like, I need to watch a video of the top 25 selling Michael Jordan cards of this month. 15 minutes. Let's go.
Is that your new ASMR?
It is actually. I mean, I love watching these breakers. I love watching people like number 27, the Tar Heels, Michael Jordan giveaway in 1986. It's like, it's amazing. It's like, and we have the medal, the green medal going for $2 million. I mean, I have not bought a back. It is some dork shit, man. Oh my God. But I am settling into my dork self. In your 20s, some people come out and reveal their identities, their righteous, true identities. And that's always awesome. And in your 30s, people reveal their wealth. It's like, guys, I'd like to come out as fucking rich. I've been wealthy this whole time. In your 50s or 40s, I would say you kind of revert back to your most scared, comfortable self. And for me, it's shopping for basketball cards and some baseball.
I think for you revealed that you are in fact 6'6". That to me was a shocker. I've known you many years, and you said, Ben, in my 40s, I am now a looming tall individual. Here's the ASMR I want. Jacques Vaughn, 2002, Atlanta.
What? Mm-hmm.
498 effective field goal percentage. Mm-hmm. Free throw rate, 304. Mm-hmm. I think that would work. Just someone reciting stats from guys of the past. I think that would work.
Man,
that's what we're doing from here on in. No more takes. We're just repeating stats from random players of the past, and we're going to then reveal our wealth.
I've seen people, old head stockbrokers or investment dudes, look through old prices of stocks and get emotional. They're just like, oh my God, I remember when Coca-Cola was this number. It's like, I remember where I was when Coca-Cola was this number. It's like it's bringing back a lot of memories. I now have $240 billion.
That's what I think about when I think about like podcast
Tar-
number one,
Mm.
before the billions.
Before the Tari Eason Gold 1 of 10s. Yeah. I'm
So
an owner.
you're mad about dogs. You're finally joining my crusade that I has been brimming for several years. I've been mad at
And we're not.
dogs. Dog owners, but you've joined forces. On one hand, there's a cookie civil war based on basketball, Knicks versus Sixers, Sixers versus Knicks. But right now, we are aligned against the dog owners of New York.
Well, I was going to say I am not mad at the dogs who are purchasing Civil War merch from our cookieshoops.com store. Never mad at those dogs. Man, those Brunson tees, that Maxi reissue. Damn.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
we've been here the fans this whole time as a Maxi day one. As the Maxi day one.
Right. For me, as like a cat guy, we've got some
Mm-hmm.
cat tees that I think people should purchase as well. But yeah, Maxi restock and Brunson cat. There may be some Mitch Empire State long sleeves floating around. Possible.
Yo, scrapping Mitch, going to social media, talking SHIT, just incredible stuff. But
Let's hear about the dogs that you don't love.
So yeah, we have established that I was the Sixers day one, but you are the dog hater day one, and I've come to your side. Like you will come to my side in round two.
Inshallah, this will happen.
Mm-hmm. I was at this toddler birthday party, a 2-year-old turning 2, full of family, kind of like a adjacent acquaintance. Didn't really know anybody there. Tons of kids. Beautiful day in Bed-Stuy. Backyard.
Did you introduce yourself as an adjacent acquaintance? That's kind of a nice one. What's up? Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm kind of an adjacent acquaintance. It's like, oh, you really don't know this person.
Oh, you announce yourself when you come into a room? I just stayed quiet. I didn't talk to anybody.
Hi, I'm an adjacent acquaintance.
I'm Ben Dietrich. I am a tertiary acquaintance. No, I didn't talk to anybody. But
I'm a minion. I'm here. I'm sort of a henchman for the person whose home I'm invited to. I'm a helper.
You're a Jaylen Brown to the Derek White for sure, all the time. But the other common project shoe has to come in the door. So there was this.
I am a Robin.
Right. I'm trying to paint this picture over here. Beautiful backyard, hamburgers, hot dogs, kids, decorations, a grill going, a hammock, toys near the hammock, kids frolicking. My kids being like, when can we have a turn on this amazing thing that you call a hammock? And I was like, in a minute, son. And I was like, but before we get on the hammock, I smell some shit. I got to make sure you guys had not pooped your pants. Smell them. I'm like, it's not coming from the Quo area. And I look down on this AstroTurf, and there is smeared mustard yellow dog feces in a pile, smeared everywhere on almost all these like 8 kids' pants, knee down, all over their shoes, some on their faces, and no parent had noticed yet. And I turned to another one. I was like, take your child away from this area. There's poop. And they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like,
there's poop in these. There's poop in these damn hills. Damn it!
Every second of this situation, I was Costanza. I was just like trampling women and children. I was like, I don't know anyone here. I am tertiary at best.
Yeah. You're like an
I was
ancillary.
Luka Garza up in here.
You're an ancillary pal.
Yeah, I was a Harper sibling, just in the scrum of professionals. I was like,
were you trying to get to the bathroom first?
I did. And then as I was in the bathroom, and I told as many people I could on the way out, carrying 2 children, I heard the screams and I heard the kerfuffle outside. And they got it cleaned up. We didn't make a big deal about it, over it. But 48 hours ago, I still smell the sage, the Kyrie Irving sage in TD Garden in my nose, except it's mustard yellow dog poop. And there was two wonderful dogs in the house. There was dog cages. It was a corgi and a Shih Tzu. I like those dogs, but man, I took to Twitter and wrote, "Dog owners are performative."
Welcome to the bark side.
Oh, my tales from the bark side. How long have you been waiting to unleash that, Willie Staley?
Years on that one.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking about The Wire, so.
But yes, the performative dog owner. Now, I want to know more about this. I just think they're
Right.
I just think they're generally a bit selfish, and I understand the affection that people have for pets. But when you live in a city where you are living in incredible density, the most densely populated place in America, and you say, I'd like to contribute to that, but it's going to be a wild animal that goes to the bathroom outside, pees, shits, needs to run to be healthy. I'm just going to add that into the mix. I think that's self-indulgent, but I want to know about the performative angle. Tell me more.
Oh, you're so lonely. Oh, you have a sentimental emptiness in your heart that you need to fill with a canine. Oh, it's a service dog? Are you going through a trauma? Would you like to tell me about your trauma? All fair. I'm being facetious. But I take the bus a lot, and there is a sign above the good seats in front that says service animals only. But everyone can apply for the service animal certificate, right?
There's
It doesn't
literally
matter.
there's anyone who wants to have a service animal can have a service animal.
And I heard it got tricky, but it's gettable. And who's to say you don't have a service animal? This animal serves a service where, like, I am sad about the disappointments of the New York Knicks in my life. I need this animal to give me high fives and roll over in order to fill that void. Or someone who actually has like a service animal. It's like, I can't see, I need this German Shepherd to walk me to Fort Greene, whatever. So I get it. But like, it blurs the line between trauma and trauma as a brand, if we can separate those two things. Not to say that trauma doesn't exist, but I think we've maybe flattened that idea in the last few years. So when I see a dog shitting at a toddler birthday party or shitting in front of my feet on a street in New York City, I'm just like, are you reading Infinite Jest on the 6 train or not?
Well, if people want to have dogs pooping in their own backyard, I don't have any problem with that. You know, it's like if you are an adjacent friend and you come over there, tertiary ally, and you come over there like, hey, we got dogs, like, you know, children beware. There's poop back there. Just keep an eye out. I find like that's preferable to them leaving it in a snowbank. I have no problem if you have a dog and it poops in your backyard. That's cool. No issues.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. But my problem is that you can't get everything. So when you go over there and they poop on the sidewalk and you scoop it up with a little green bag, you're still leaving poop on the sidewalk. It's still there. You're not washing it down. You're not hosing it. You're not scrubbing it. You're just plucking it in a little bag and you're walking off with it. You know. So I don't know. My issue is just that I think your point about the performative thing is sort of a thing. No, there is something with like, I'm going to get girls with my dog, or I'm going to meet people with my dog. Or I'm going to be with my book and my dog in the park. And I've seen people just there, I get liking your animal. It's like seeing people just be fascinated by their dog and what their dog is doing. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Like they're staring there as the dog's like kind of pawing at the grass and nosing at some other dog's poop, and they're just staring as if this dog is onto something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a cadaver dog.
I mean, everything we do is various degrees of performative. If we're talking about like Alcoholics Anonymous, going to the bar, wearing cookies gear, not wearing cookies gear. You're one or the other, one of those
Not
two in this world.
not wearing cookies gear is incredibly performative.
I know. And
What? You really aren't wearing cookies gear? That's insane.
yeah,
That's.
I mean,
You're walking up and down the street. Look at me. I don't have any cookies gear. Crazy.
You know, the performative quote unquote aspect of this is when you get a dog because it makes you tough, right? Like it's pretty easy to adopt a pit bull variation breed, and those are gettable and those are usually affordable. So a lot of dudes around where I live like post up with these pit bulls. You got the punks, the old punks on St. Mark's with their pit bulls. Um, and then the opposite, if you're a tough dude and you have a small dog, a little yapper, that's also a lot to think about. Basically, I don't want to know that you're reading the Hillbilly Elegy for the fifth time on the A train.
The second prototype is a funny one. I would see that like old Italian, like mobbed up dudes in their tiny little shrieking poodle.
It's a trope that started where? Was this in like Casino or something? What movie did this start in? Because the whole Italian culture is a trope from a Scorsese movie, right? Like, how many times do we have to hear about the razor blade and garlic?
Doesn't even work.
Doesn't work.
It's fake. It's a lie.
And I'm like,
garlic. Garlic doesn't melt.
Yeah. And that razor blade has like industrial oil on it. Do you want me to get sick over here? Hey, I'm getting sick over here.
That goddamn garlic.
Shout out to Martin Scorsese.
Yes. I mean, yeah, let's not talk about the Wire versus
No,
Sopranos.
we're not doing that.
Shout out to everyone involved. We can't do it. We can't re-roundersable this. Sorry.
Ben, why don't we talk about Williamsburg? No,
we can't do it. We can't do it. Here's what I want to talk about. We've already gotten our dog alliance.
I feel better now because I really had that dog in me.
You always do, and you have the dog outside of you, in your nostrils, in your hands, and your clothing.
Like bottom of my shoe.
Like I can see, I can see the disgust on your face is lingering.
It was calamitous. To say the least.
You are visibly still upset about this. It's you are someone who is. It's hard to get your goat. You are cool as a cucumber.
Right,
this is as agitated. This is as agitated as you're gonna get with.
I don't understand the comedy of Woody Allen. Okay,
so you're mad. This is great.
Okay, you have shit on your shoe. It's a full ass party with food going around. People eating Peruvian chicken legs. How do I clean my shoe? How do we clean this AstroTurf? How do we prevent kids from ingesting? The mustard is from milled grains. It is a delicacy, but that's not mustard. So, like, I went into the bathroom and used wet wipes, but then you can't flush them. And I didn't want to use toilet paper because it doesn't work. It just falls apart in your hands. What the fuck do you do? So what I did was I used wet wipes. I put them in the trash can, and then I tied the trash can, and beneath it there was another bag. So I put it there. But it was gonna get crazy, so I fucking left like George Costanza.
I like that. A couple weeks ago, it's like, Andrew, we are a nation at war. You're like, well, anyway. It's like you're like, no, we are a nation at war. It's us against the cadaver dogs. It's happening.
That's right. So people have to do their part. I vote. I warn people about dog poop. You are a political activist. So everyone does their thing in society.
Everything is politics.
Yeah.
So I saw a good tweet. It was Willie Stallo, he mentioned earlier, was making fun of some some young woman who I think worked in or lived in Queens, I want to say. So just the context here is that she put up a MTA train map highlighting the Q train. Her name is Nazo B Tweeting. That's her name on Twitter.
I love it.
And here it is, the Q train starting around Graham Avenue in, I guess that would be, I don't even know, Williamsburg or wherever. Oh no, I take this back. Okay, so she's posting up to get from Graham Avenue in East Williamsburg to Prospect Park. The MTA suggests a 34-minute ride, which would be taking the L train to Union Square in Manhattan, going back downtown through Manhattan, and then going to the other side of Brooklyn. And her quote is, "Yup, no notes."
She's not reading War and Peace performatively on those trains, man. You can't make a normal person, normal, healthy, angry person do that. But yeah, the navigating through Brooklyn by ways of Manhattan has been a beef ever since I can remember, even before smartphones.
It's annoying, and
It's weird.
it feels as if you are wasting time by doing it. Although I will say, 34 minutes to go from East
Not bad.
Williamsburg to Prospect
That's
Park
nothing.
isn't bad. But
Yeah, that's
also, Willie Stalley was pointing out the fact that, well, why would there be a train, a subway? If you don't want to take the bus and figure out buses, why would there be an East Williamsburg to Prospect Park subway line? I mean, there also is the G that sort of rolls around and vaguely some of those parameters. But
yeah.
why on earth would there be a train from your house to the bar you want to go to?
I'm going to take the side of this tweeter because while it is a reasonable 30 plus minute ride, it's like if I was like, yo, Ben, let's get some spicy Szechuan mapo tofu, you'd be like, cool.
I
Like,
love that.
but we have to walk through the Birra Taco restaurant, then we have to cut through their kitchen, and there's going to be a garbage plate, the best garbage plates you've ever seen. But we have to walk through that kitchen,
You have
past
sweetened
the
the deal.
loaded fries to get to our mapo tofu. And you'll be like, ooh, that's kind of stressful. It's like almost moving backwards to go forwards. Do you know what I mean? So
I do know what you mean.
So if you're going through Manhattan, you'd be like, ooh, I have to like recalculate my day because now I'm in Manhattan. I might as well just hop off and get this garbage
Well,
plate.
no, I agree with you fully. It's like, okay, I'm going to go from Greenpoint to Bed-Stuy. That'll be fun. Like, but wait, I'm in Manhattan. Like,
Yeah,
why would I go to Bed-Stuy? I'm in the big city.
yeah, yeah. I'm in
The
the
streets
city.
are paved with gold. You know, I'm like going to follow my dreams.
That's right, not yellow poop. It's weird, and it's like it feels like a psychological fuck you, right? The city is just like taunting you. It's like, am I being marketed to? Am I being tricked? You know, it's like, oh, would you rather have this good shit? It's
No, it's
Manhattan.
great because it's like, yeah, you take it and you're like going down from, I don't know, whatever, the 30s, you're like, Times Square, Herald Square, okay, 23rd Street, Chelsea. Just going, it's like, as you're going, West 4th, yeah, I could remember what I used to do when I get off of West 4th. No, I can't stop you. Broadway Lafayette.
Yeah.
Broadway Lafayette. Wow. Oh, I bet it's nice today. Nice day out. Everyone's just parading up and down the lower Times Square.
Your homies are like, yo, let's meet in Prospect Park. You just have to stay in Brooklyn. And you're like, done. And then you're like, oh, damn. I'm in the city. I'm close to Scar's Pizza. I can frolic in front of Clandestino. Chat Square? I've always wanted to visit Chat Square. So a convenient, regular thing all of a sudden bypasses. Like I did a layover in Frankfurt once, and the person was like, "Hey, you want to give up your seat and spend a night here, or do you just want to go home in the next hour?" And me and my girlfriend at the time were like, "Let's just check out Frankfurt for a day," you know? And it's just like, I don't regret that at all. It was incredible just for one night. But yeah, that tweeter was vague tweeting, vague traveling. But they have a
So,
point.
so Iceland, Portugal, maybe a few other places. Those are two that I know were doing it or are doing it. I don't know if it's happening right now or a couple of years ago. They would say if you fly through one of these places, we'll give you like 1 to 3 days, like in between. So if you fly into Iceland, the airport, you can stay in Iceland and we won't charge you more. You can buy the connecting flight, but you can stay in between. And I feel like that would be a fair policy. It's like, hey, Andrew, I will meet you in Bed-Stuy, but I'm going to be in New York for like in the city for like 3 days.
I'll be in New York City in 3.
Like yeah. I'm going to go check out the museums, maybe catch a play on Broadway, but I will make it to Bed-Stuy. But like if I have to go through the city to get to you,
right,
I'm going to get there like Wednesday.
Or take the bus and just get here in 20 minutes.
So I've got some news for you. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that now that you have a new boogeyman, the specter of yellow poo, that this will help assuage the only other thing that gets you mad, which is fare beating. And I think we can get rid of the fare beating with buses. And I think this was a study, and I don't know where it was based, but compelling people to ride buses for free makes the city money.
Okay.
So I'm saying Zoran should be able to do this. They're like, if you can get people to ride buses, period, just get on the bus, to cut down on cars, to cut down on everything, just get people on the bus. The city and everything collectively makes money for every rider who's like, hell yeah, I'll get on the bus.
Well, the bus is, as we know, the bus is free if you want it to be.
And I'm saying they're making money for the city.
It's very crowded already. If you get a bus that isn't crowded, that's a delight. Also, people use trains because they go from Brooklyn into Manhattan, and buses don't quite do that. You got to kind of stay local for buses, and they take a long time.
The only one that I can think of that was useful was the one along Broadway that would go over the bridge from Williamsburg. That one was kind of useful sometimes.
So rare that one time I saw it and I just took it. I was like, I never see this thing. I'm just gonna hop on. Was it? I forget which B it is, but
there really isn't a reason to use it unless the train is down, because it's taking the same route generally. Yeah. Like why would you? The train is just faster. Like
train's much faster. So if you were working someplace in Chat Square and you needed to go home to Queens, man, the bus ain't doing that for you.
No. Also, I mean, the idea that you could just build more subways is kind of funny too. Like, come on, all right, guys, carve another subway line beneath the city so that I can go to El Submarino in Greenpoint faster.
They had to truncate the Second Avenue subway plans because buildings were crumbling with the construction and some buildings had structurally been damaged. So they just like stopped that $1 billion project and rethought it, sort of like Game 7 and Joe Mazzulla. But I saw somebody on Twitter calling out, I believe, the A train that ends up at 198th Street. And they're like, this is gorgeous. This station is carved into a mountain. And the response that went viral was like, if you have found yourself at this station, something has gone wrong in your life. And I was like, shout out to 198th Street, but I kind of know what you mean, right?
Well, it's also, if you find yourself at Coney Island at night, right. Something has gone wrong.
Right.
You fell asleep.
Yeah. Or if you live there, it's just like, who tricked you into thinking this was going to be a punk commune post-COVID?
Or you're a member of the Warriors, and it's a good thing.
Right. You still love 70s movies and jean jackets. But there's places and pockets in New York City where like it's not quite generational money, but real wealth does not exist, right? And we're in a culture where we celebrate CEOs. Like I'm on Ballmer's side on this. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like the NFL, baby. I'm like, dude, this is a 180 from what I'm used to. But like a lot of Brooklyn, when you get past maybe Williamsburg out east, like the culture of money that you see in Manhattan, all over Manhattan, obviously you have working people living everywhere in Manhattan, and then you have the private school, the equity, the people who have never taken the subway or bus, who fill expensive, wonderfully expensive restaurants every night. Like that kind of culture. I mean, we just had the fundraising season in New York, and I don't know how many people know of that, but it's like the World Cup every year of wealth, just getting together every night for another thing. And there's pockets in New York like 198th Street, Queens, Staten Island. You don't have that incredible, unruly wealth.
And I mean, this goes back ages and ages and ages, but also like the bonfire of the vanities. It's just sort of about that dynamic. It's about, a wealthy master of the universe, swinging dick Wall Street guy who ends up in a car accident in the Bronx. And like the rest is that fallout from him trying to cover up the accident, etc.
But it's about of movies. Yeah.
Right. But it's like it's literally like that proximity of Harlem and the Bronx to the Upper East Side. And I swear that was
the town. Yeah.
And that was why those stories about, the Central Park Five are like emblematic of larger things, but also why they were so hyped up, because it was this menace of black people who are violent on the other side of the park. And you're just this, wealthy young white woman jogging around, and there's these predators waiting to get you. And Donald Trump is very concerned about this. And then they, basically coerce confessions out of those guys. One of my friends was actually in the park that day, black guy, grew up in the Bronx, and said that he got questioned.
Yeah,
and only crazy. Because his mom or his dad or one of his parents, I believe, came down to the station and got him out. He was like, that could have been me. I could have been 100% bullied into giving a false confession. I could have gotten so scared. I was just a kid. He's like, it might have been me. I was literally questioned by police because I was with a group of my friends in the park that night.
It's crazy, right? Like it is. I'll never know what it's like to walk around New York City as a woman or a black person or a tall person. I mean, if you consider 6'6" short, you know what I'm saying? But like, I have we all have many friends who are those things. And one of my friends is just like, I see a situation there. I'd rather cross the street. I don't want to deal with any of this. I'm like, is that real? It's like my whole life is scouting areas where I could be a degree safer. And I'm like, respect, man. It's a fucked up place.
I get that. I also think that those, not diminishing real concerns and keeping your head on a swivel out there, but there's also those guys, when I go into a public place, first thing I do is check out, where are my 7 exits? It's definitely performative. I was like, I'm with my lady. I'm scanning for threats the whole time. Like, that's how you live? You go to the farmer's market?
Friend was like, I could have been in jail just for living.
Oh, I'm talking. I mean, he was just a kid. I'm saying someone who's at a farmer's market saying, I'm looking for threats to my woman.
Oh, that's not it. I mean, I'm not talking about Scorsese, like always never put your back to the door or whatever bullshit. But
that's what I'm referring to. I always sit facing the door. And we would hear that stuff, and you'd go places with your friends, and you kind of jostle to see who could be facing the door. And you're like, what are we doing? Like someone's going to come in and they put piano wire around your neck while you're just trying to eat a garbage plate. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, I have a very famous friend who I won't name names, but his name is Den Beatrick, if you can figure
Hmm.
that out. But
Yeah.
anyway, we'll be just walking down the street and he'll be like, I see some people ahead. Do you mind if we cross the street? And one of the first times he did that, I was just like, get over yourself, man. This is New York. We're used to this. We rolled up and it ruined our fucking day. It was like, hey, 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 pictures. Hey, you suck. Just joking. Yo, fuck you, and I'm just like, yo, you were just like taking photos with this person. He was just like, so you see, I can't do this. And I'm like, I kind of believe you. And everywhere we go, this would happen. And the only time he had like an anonymous life would be Halloween, because he would just put on a costume.
Yeah, I remember walking with you one time, and
That's
you
right.
saw, some fans
Yeah.
at one of our basketball viewing parties, and you said, "Let's sprint in there and see our friends." And you turned on the Jets and you went in there and you said, "It's so good to see everyone. I'm happy to be watching this game together with such great companions and such ancillary pals." And it was the Knicks Atlanta game 5.
Shout out to One for One for hosting a cookies viewing party, which was sick. We were I was nervous because I'm a bit of a pessimist that goes back all the way to Scott Layden. FireLayden.com was kind of the first version of the internet. And I was with some Knicks fans I've known for a brief time and a very long time. And we were all just like, don't like any game. There's no comfort here. Woo! The Knicks came out and did their thing. But are we talking basketball yet? Because it's minute
No,
30.
no, no. I was just shouting out the event. The event was fun. And thanks to everyone who came out, had a good time. And thanks to Ronnie and the 141 people for having us. And we'll do another one and we'll let people know when we do.
That's right.
Moving along, I've been describing you as a fish
No.
head Asian for a while, and I'm beginning to think that it's offensive.
What? I went to the Sphere. I did my silly dance. Listen, if you don't understand fish, then you don't understand a lot of life. We're just
I was
being
talking
free,
about
bro.
fish heads, roly poly fish heads.
Oh, you mean like you'll sleep with the fish's fish head, or like curry fish head stew fish head?
The garlic melts.
You cut it thin enough you can see through it like paper, like a window, a garlic window.
So whatever this guy's name, this JP Morgan character, I don't think he's JP Morgan. I believe that's the place he works.
JP?
He's not JP Morgan. John Paul Morgan. Anyway, this guy tried to sue his woman boss, a Serbian lady, and he made up apparently an entire
Delightful.
like scandalous,
Horrible.
scandalous, very explicit sex encounter. And
You ever seen cannons like this? I'm like, we are in baseball season.
I'm repeating what I saw on a tweet, but I also was like, something is off.
Yeah,
that is written by a guy.
Yeah,
I'm like,
or
maybe it was right, but I thought it could either be him using a euphemism or paraphrasing her incorrectly. But the idea that a woman would say, "You ever seen cannons like these?" just not true. It doesn't ring true.
I read that and I was like, haha, fish head Asian. I was like, wait, I've never heard that before. It's like, I love it, but is that a thing? Is this a spice bag?
Look, I've been using Asian slurs for a long time. Yeah, like constantly. And a diversity,
nihilist, insanity,
a diversity of slurs for that entire region. I didn't know fish head. Is it something that was concocted by ChatGPT, or is it an archaic Vietnam era term or something? I don't know.
I know, and that kind of like directs me maybe to like Southeast Asia a little bit. Very
Why would
confusing.
You say that, Andrew?
because it's near water. Like a lot of China is not near water for obvious reasons. I say that. Hey, I enjoy a fish head. I will eat a fish head. Shout out to Nate Freeman. We went and sat down at Che Lee, and he was like, "I'm getting the fish head." I'm like, "That's right."
So right,
He's a game
I'm
knower.
trying. This is he knows ball. This is the part that I'm trying to understand. Is it that you eat fish heads, or you look like a fish head, or there's just something
Do you
like
smell like a fish head? Are you dead inside? Do you have a support animal that you're so hollowed out like a fish head? Incredible.
I support fish?
Support, yo. I got my certificate.
I bring my bass wherever I go. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, and then the response online to this clearly fabricated story was just like, sign me up for the job. People like running really fast, like Forrest Gump. It's like, she's kind of cute. And if you saw both of those people, you squint your eyes, they kind of look like Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, the Chat GPT details sounded so fraudulent. It was like she began to perform oral sex on him and then he wept. And I'm like, that's a scene from Disclosure. That's Michael Douglas and Demi Moore. I know that scene.
What movie have you seen lately? Right.
And then at the end, I was trapped in this like virtual reality where I was trying to go through these files to destroy them. And then a version of Michael Douglas and Demi Moore were in there. No, that's Disclosure again. That's not what happened at John Paul Morgan.
And then my giant sandworm started thumping, and people like popped out of the sand itself, and they had blue eyes. And then I rode that sandworm. She rode that sandworm.
She's like, hey, get a load of these headlights. And then I was like, awooga. And then my eyes popped out like they were on accordions and my tongue rolled out like a red carpet at the Met Gala.
Her leg went all the way up like a lamp, like a Christmas lamp with stockings on it that a wife would smash in anger, out of sexist anger.
And then my tail went,
right. It was like
not to be confused with the hit HBO show.
Yeah. It was kind of strange. It was kind of weird, but like it was also science. It was like weird science where she came out with all this smoke. Wow, that really dates me, that reference.
Anyway, this guy should go to jail. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, and the Luigi thing kind of happened to him too, where someone spotted him crossing the street. The internet was like, "Oh, he's actually kind of handsome. He's tall." And I'm like, okay, it's just like, oh, we can maybe support him on. Yeah, it's nothing. Maybe just slap on the hand. So apparently he did this because he was anticipating his impending dismissal, and he wanted to kind of extort some money from the company on the low. He thought they were going to settle without taking it public, and no one would ever have to know about it. But when you want that much money, there's going to be some sleuthing. And I believe someone found his Claude prompts like from 6 months ago, trying to write this story, like a quill pen by a candlelight late at night. He had been dreaming of this performative plot for half a year.
Yeah, I gotta say that using Claude, it just shows you how uncreative people are.
But that's the point.
But you couldn't. That's 100% the point. But you couldn't do it yourself. You had to leave a smoking gun. You couldn't even come up with your own slurs.
Tatas, that's not right. Jugs, that doesn't really fly. What word am I looking for?
Something in a bazunga.
I brumskied her jugs. That doesn't really. No one will believe that. Can't get millions of dollars off of that.
It's great how it's so juvenile.
Yeah, he's a child.
Come over here and motorboat these hooters.
Dude, it's like I met somebody the other day who was like, yeah, I've worked for Google for almost 20 years. And I'm like, that's amazing. Are you like, what's your interest in tech? They're like, oh, no interest. I sell ads. Like, I speak a bunch of different languages and I just sell. I'm an ad person. like, do you write the ads? Like, no, I just like sell them to different countries that pop up when you Google something, or steal your history. And I'm like, right, these JP Morgan wealthy people who don't live on 198th Street, like I'm like, oh, they must be smart to get all that money. I'm like, oh, no one who's smart actually makes real money, like emotionally smart. Shout out to Michael
Well,
B.
when I first moved to New York, I was just looking for different jobs. Like, hey, I'll take whatever job. It's fine. I just need a 9 to 5. I need to find work because I need to pay rent. I don't have any money. Like, I didn't come down with a nest egg. I just came down with a suitcase. I need to work. So I had to take any kind of job, and worked for a financial company for a little while, like on a U.S. equities desk. These people made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Some of them were sort of smart guys, like, no disrespect. They like head on their
100%.
shoulders. A lot of them were very conservative.
Jamie Dimon
of
is
course.
not dumb. Right.
No, conservative or libertarian, whatever, however they wanted to, phrase themselves or categorize themselves, excuse me. But there were some people there who were making good money, who were dumb as a brick. And they were mostly like the salespeople. And their job was to sell, I guess how you phrase them, the like larger financial institutions to follow their stock advice. Hey, we're going to get the mutual fund from the Minnesota teachers are going to follow our advice and buy this amount of stock. And these people would come in from Minnesota into the big city. They get taken to the strip club. They get taken to the steakhouse. And then they would say, yeah, you've made a good point. And we're going to buy X amount of stocks. And that was it. And these people are living in Jersey or living in Long Island or Connecticut, buying big houses. And their entire thing was they would go out to strip clubs and steakhouses with someone from a Midwestern mutual fund. And then they would be like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. We'll buy a bunch of Apple stock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It can be done. It can be done, man.
Let's hit the Siegelman Sable sample sale, right? And like, one thing that I actually believe is, like, I know wealth is on a sliding scale, and at this point, you're either insanely wealthy or not, right? So someone's like, if you live on 198th Street, something has gone wrong. I'm like, not necessarily, but I do think when I say, like, smart people generally don't make a ton of money, because at some point, and when I say smart, I'm not talking about like Donald Trump acing his cognitive test 3 times. I'm talking about people who are like chill, who you can talk to, who understand stuff. And at some point, you're confronted with choices. Shout out to Michael Beasley with that amazing quote. It's like, you judge people's choices, but you don't know their options. Like,
that's a good quote.
Wonderful. But at some point in your life, if you have the insane opportunity to acquire a lot of wealth, I feel like the smart people in this world maybe will balk at that. Maybe like, how much do I need? I need this, I want this, and that's kind of all. To acquire that fuck you money takes this kind of moral corruption, in my humble opinion, that smart people are less likely to give themselves over to.
Yeah, I mean, not to make this too self-serving for people who don't have millions of dollars.
I'm dripped out in cookies here. I sold myself out years ago.
But yeah, I feel like people who are driven solely by a desire for money and more money is something that if you are born really poor and you're craving to ascend in society and provide a better life for yourself and your loved ones, that is a very real motivation to get money.
Yeah.
But when you're coming from money, or you're coming from stability, middle class, education, and you come out of those environments where you do have opportunities and your takeaway is, I need to chase that cash. That's a little different. It's a little different. There's one is providing like material support for yourself and others because you have been denied it. You're coming from a place of diminished opportunities, and this is how you pave a way to a better life. But if you're like a rich person who's like, I work for a hedge fund, it's like, you're just faking this, man. This is some bullshit. You were set up in the lap of luxury. Yeah, I work for my dad's hedge fund. And I'm going to retire. I'm 38 years old. I'm going to retire. Made a bunch of money. It's like, you just kind of cheated. What are you into? You don't like basketball?
I know. And then, like, I always think about that when I was in high school. The short story The Box was required reading, right? 1970, Richard Matheson's The Box, made into a movie, whatever. You press a button and it's just like, we'll give you whatever, $1 million, but someone will die, and I guarantee you won't know them. But you can either have $1 million and have someone you don't know die, or just not take the offer. And I always thought it was kind of a performative idea, but essentially that's like, if you want that fuck you money, where Elon Musk is like, oh, SpaceX is going public and I could become a trillionaire, like not liquid trillionaire, but I could be worth trillions of dollars. I'm like, oh, it's that short story. No wonder it was required reading. It took a zillion years for me to figure this out as I'm lusting after basketball cards. But I'm like, right, you have a choice, and it presents itself early on, middle, and wherever in your station in life. Not the 198th Street A train station, but where you are in your playoff life. And when I sit at the Garden and I'm surrounded by people who have the same aspiration I do for the Knicks to win the game, it feels crazy to me that that's where it ends. I'm like, after that, I kind of don't vibe with any of you guys.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like when that guy comes to you with a box, you got to ask a follow-up question. Like, all right, just be straight with me, Mac.
Your face like is the next saying, why?
Is the next person you give this to someone I don't know, and then I'm just going to die? Like,
do I not know myself?
Am I dying next? Like, what's like? There's got to be a catch to this. There's got to be a catch. Like, there's some lesson I'm going to learn, like from the DNC autopsy that won't be revealed. Like, come on, just be straight with me, dude.
Why did you wipe up the mapo tofu grease off this table? Is it because you don't want me to stare in it? You don't want me to know myself? Am I going to be the next person who dies? Dun, dun, dun.
So you're saying this creepy monkey's paw will grant me wishes? Like, holy crow. That's amazing. Oh, what are the odds? Okay, yeah. Now, just before I do that, is there going to be sort of ironic twists where I'm going to end up regretting these wishes?
Yeah,
come on, tell me before I do it.
Why do you look older than Obi Toppin? Why do you have this fucking box? Where's your cut from this? How do you cut your garlic? Are you doing time? Because we're not cutting garlic. We're in jail.
Okay. So I know it's fucking bonkers. I can spin straw into gold. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. That is there anything else I should know?
Why do you smell like yellow dog feces, bro? Why did I invite you in here? I don't know how to clean that off your box.
This gnome seems legit.
Did you just say cannons? Did you say cannons and refer it all to a body part?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It makes myself feel better for not wearing cookies head to toe. It's just like, right, the things I'm not are stupid, and me, who hasn't achieved as much as them, I'm not stupid. I'm aware of that that performative bias, but a part of me is just like, we don't understand the difference between $1 billion and $1 million enough. Millions of dollars is a ton of money. $1 billion is just, that is a number that is astronomical.
So I want to segue into basketball because we have a lot to talk about. And I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that point, and I want to talk about Joel Embiid for a second, and then we're going to talk about the Cookies Civil War, Sixers Boston, Knicks Atlanta, and so on. But before Embiid came back, we talked about the series, and I said, I don't think Philly has a shot in hell. We didn't know if Joel was going to play. And there are people.
We uttered the S word. Sweet.
We didn't know. Sweet, but wasn't clear he was going to play. And there are people, Jaylen Brown, hilariously one of them, like, I don't know, I think they're kind of better without him. The young guys, they run up and down the court. They play more free, more fast. I'm like, this is not true. This is not true. There is a difference between a billionaire and a millionaire.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid is a billionaire. He is a guy who gives you the best player on the court virtually every night and did for a decade. He may not be that guy now, but that guy, that player who is the best player on either team 95% of the games.
Unless doesn't mean Thunder.
Unless it doesn't mean it doesn't mean every individual game it happens, but just on paper, 95% of the time you have the best player. Conversely, if you have a Tyrese Maxey, who's a very good player, let's say he's top 20. Top 20 player gives you actually, you're on the wrong side of having the best player on the court on the average game. That is a sobering thought, right? It's like, we have a top 20 player. Oh, they've got a top 18 player. They've got a top 10 player. They've got a top 5 player. They've got a top 1 player. You're actually on the shit side of the stick, Andrew. Wow. When you have a top 20 player, that's how difficult it is to win. So my point getting around to is the Sixers with Joel Embiid were a different team than the one without Joel Embiid, except they needed that game too.
I know. Also, shout out to Paul George. Somehow, some way, this suspension maybe works in the Sixers' favor, because you think if he plays the season through, he's probably banged up, a little hurt. He's old, the style of play, but he's a little bit fresh. And I'm like, as soon as Joel came back, I was like, this is a fucking scary team. Like, and then you got the irrational confidence player in VJ Edgecombe, where someone with a brain with the prefrontal cortex not quite developed because he's not 30 years old yet. I'm like, you need that. That's lightning in a bottle.
The reason I bring up game 2 is not to get into any of the details of it, but only that if Philly loses that game without Joe, they go down 0-3. They win game 4 without Joe. I don't think he ever comes back. If they're down 3, he doesn't play in game 4. If they win one and it's 1-3, which this series was, but that win comes in game 4 and then they go to Boston, I don't think he plays either. That sneaking that little bullshit win in game 2, which is of course of critical importance in a 7-game series, but that's what got Joel Embiid to come back in the series and to play in game 4 in Philadelphia. Without that win, if they're down 0-3, I think it is a sweep.
For sure. And
that one win convinced Joe to come back.
Yeah, and this is what Boston fans are kind of trying to figure out now. Like, was this season worth it? Like, this was going to be a gap year. Only we, Cookies, knew if they decided to try to win games, they would win many games because that's a good team. But now they don't have a high draft pick and they're out in the first round. It's like, should we have brought the Celtics? Should the Celtics have brought Tatum back? Sort of to your point about Joel Embiid. If there's a little bit of hope, like, that kind of does you a disservice.
If the team had been worse without Tatum, he probably doesn't play. Right. So I don't know that his return shifted the trajectory of being, a top 2 seed in the East versus being a lottery team, But I thought, we were texting about it. Let's talk a little bit about that game 7, where Tatum was announced that because of a sore knee, he was not going to play. And our immediate agreement was that they're better without him.
Yeah, they are.
And then Maxey, after the game, was like, yeah, we knew it'd be tougher without Tatum.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think he meant it as a slight, but just that maybe they'd be more desperate. I don't know how he felt about it. But why did you
Yeah.
think that was the case?
Because I do can Jaylen Brown and Tatum coexist, right? After watching the previous game and them take their ISO turns, like fine, they're skilled players who have an opportunity to score, create their own shots. But by kind of like reducing the number of elements and choices you have as an offense, I think the Celtics, like all they had to do was hit shots because their point of view became clear. And it was not a subconscious attempt to please both stars, a subconscious attempt to vary looks, give them different actions just to kind of check all their boxes. As most things in life, like simplifying something is most times an optimal version of that thing.
Someone doesn't trust the procedure.
I do not trust the procedure.
My take is very similar to that, but it's also because in Game 6, Tatum was not moving well. I didn't know if there was something wrong with his knee. I didn't know if it was his Achilles not being fully healed, whatever it was.
He was grabbing his calf.
Yeah, seeing him getting up and down the court, he was not moving well. He wasn't explosive. Late in the game, his jumpers ended up being really short. And I thought Philly had totally figured them out. And I was like, if they play, I wasn't trying to be bold about it, but I was like, if Tatum plays with Jaylen Brown, the Sixers have this sorted. They can't, there's no wrinkle here with a banged up Tatum and Brown doing their little redundant shtick. It's just not going to work. Philly's going to win. So when he went out, Mazzulla came in with a wild starting lineup, though. And strange. I mentally went from Sixers are going to get swept. Oh, it's nice they're going to prolong the series. Let's make these Beantown leprechauns sweat it out. That's funny. After they won Game 6, like, all right, yeah, fuck it. I want this now. Yeah. I want this now. Yeah. And then I saw that starting lineup, and it went from house money to I'm in the hole. Yeah. They need to win this. The Sixers cannot lose to a team starting Garza, Shireman, and Harper Jr. That is preposterous.
It was inexplicable. Did Mazzulla send up the Derek White flag? Like, it's as if he was like, guys, we got to try something crazy, something we've never done this season because we're up against it. And I'm kind of on his side, right? Because the Sixers inexplicably are at full strength, which is the whole variable with that roster build. If Joel Embiid, Paul George, and those two Dr. Seuss guards are active, you're like, we're kind of fucked, right? Like, that team is good.
I mean, I thought that was part of it, that Philly had figured them out and they needed to be like, okay, I'm going to get in my bag. Mad scientist in the lab. He's like, check this shit out. And they come out and they get down like 13-2 or something. It was just a total disaster. It's like, voila, check out my newest creation. Like some staggering, like an arm where a leg is supposed to be, an eyeball like drops to the ground and rolls under the couch.
And inexplicably, Shireman and Harper Jr. play extremely poorly. I mean, I don't think they're that bad, but the Celtics making it close in the second half, kind of making it a coin flip game, was stressful. I'm like, oh, we're seeing, I don't believe in sports culture, but we're seeing the Sixers play this out yet again, right? We've seen this over the years in Joel Embiid's career. And then Boston just proceeds to just brick all their shots.
I mean, that was it. Jaylen Brown, top of the arc, brick. Peyton Pritchard, baseline corner.
Good defense. Yeah.
I mean, they had two looks. They were clean. They missed them both. That was it. I thought defensively, Boston guarded the Sixers exactly as I would have. As a team, as a fan who knows the foibles of the Sixers. No, I'm saying of the personnel of the Sixers and what they're good at and bad at. they did it exactly right, and it almost worked. Because shout out to Joel Embiid, who gave a regal Leonine performance. He was majestic, deserves all the credit. I'm so happy he had that kind of game and carried the team. But Boston knew what they were doing. They stayed home on Maxey and PG. You get no open threes. We don't care. We're not giving you open threes at all. When Maxey drives, because he can't pass, once he gets going, we're sending every single person is converging on the lane. There would be 4 people meeting him in the paint because they know that he's not going to swing the ball once he's blurring, motion blurring to the basket. We're not going to guard Kelly Oubre at all, ever. And we're not really going to guard VJ too much. So we're going to bother Joe with those guys and let him shoot mid-range jumpers against us. And for his, fantastic performance, you look at it, you're like, yeah, scoring efficiency about 54%. Like, it wasn't like he had one of his vintage 65% true shooting percentage, just wildly efficient. He wasn't. Boston's game plan was.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking Joe at all. I'm saying they dared him to beat them, and he did it. Mm-hmm. But that game plan was smart. It was really exactly what I would have done if I was constructing a way to try to fuck with the Sixers. And then you keep getting Joe in motions. He fell a couple times. He's getting banged up. He's getting tired. He's coming back from invasive surgery. I mean, everything they did made sense. But Joe just gutted that shit out.
Yeah, and it was ugly. And Jaylen Brown goes to Twitch, I think, to call out the refs for giving him calls. Like Jaylen Brown, we talked about this when Kyrie was getting hammered by Joe Tsai, that psyop, and the media. It's like, Jaylen Brown is framed as this brilliant MIT professor, Harvard guest lecturer, and he probably shares a lot of the same opinions as Kyrie Irving. And he gets on social or a streaming platform.
It's on Twitch, yeah.
Twitch, and he, someone should stop him, maybe. It doesn't come off extremely. Let me just say this. He's a very, very, very rich man, right? Extremely, extremely wealthy in ways we'll never understand.
Did you see his crew?
Yes.
There's sort of a, an ancillary associate of House of Pain guy who's just there, like a big red goatee and sunglasses for some reason.
Yo, I'm a businessman, kind of colored an entire life point of view. That Jay-Z lyric colors an entire situation.
Is that Danny Boy or DJ Lethal who is joining the Twitch stream?
Talk about Judgment Night. But yeah, he starts talking about Joel as a flopper. The refs need to be investigated. And I'm like, this is a version of flopping, because we hate flopping because it is to kind of juice a reaction out of somebody with not genuine thoughts or a immediate revisionist idea off of a result you don't like. And that's what he's doing, right? It's like, I lost the game. Let me tell you why. The refs need to be investigated for crimes. I'm like, fair enough. We watched the Kobe years. He's not wrong. Donaghy did prison time. Michael Jordan exists because he was manufactured, which is a whole nother thing. But he has a point. Joel has a point. People can be manipulated. Refs can be manipulated. A reaction after a game can be shaped. That's all he's doing.
Well, let me say this about Joel as a flopper, just briefly. He does flop. But also, he does have that kind of soccer player selling the call more frequently. It's not typically where he gets brushed and just and fakes it. Once in a blue moon, he will. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but he mostly sells calls. If you slap his wrist, he's tumbling to the ground and throwing his arms around, and the ball is going flying, and he forces refs to make calls. And a lot of times when you're watching either opposing announcers or fans who don't like him, this bullshit, and they slow it down in the replay, and you see it's a clear foul. The guy gets him on the hand, but his reaction is way overblown, but he forces the whistle. And I think those are two different things, but it happens a lot. People will get enraged and they'll be like, all right, I guess that was a foul. Because, yeah, he just explodes on contact. But
go ahead.
What I really want to get to, Andrew, is that I love Jaylen Brown now. He's so funny. He's so freaking funny.
You called out one of his amazing quotes on Twitter. I forgot, after Game 6. But
yeah. He was like, he meant series, I think, but he said Game 7 is a game unto itself at times, or something along those lines. And I was like, I was just about to say that. It often is.
I mean, him stepping into this role. Yo, shout out to Joe Mazzulla, who's like, I felt as empty as I do now when I won. I have an emptiness now that the Celtics are gone. I love these guys, man. This is a great team to kind of like think about, kind of follow, root against, root for, whatever. They are the spice of the Eastern Conference life. And now that they're gone, I'm like, I want Jaylen Brown around longer, man.
I find Tatum to be just so benign. Yeah. He doesn't have a big personality. It's all sort of cultivated by his mood board of prior greats, whatever. Jaylen Brown is hilarious. Like, he's kind of funny, but he's also not self-aware.
Yeah.
He is fantastic. He goes out there the day after they lose. I guess, it was. And this was the most fun I've ever had. Like in a season, like the season where you got to take all the shots because of a grievous injury to your co-star and you just got eliminated. He's like, that was so fire. This whole season was
not when I was finals MVP. It's when I got my shots. Like, incredible, right?
He's so funny. I really like him, man.
And when someone dug up like his courtside Bronny discussion with Angel Reese being like, he's not, Bronny's into the second round. Obviously, Bronny is no Jaylen Brown, but like, amazing stuff. Like, right, he provides us with a lot of joy and a version of cringe that is delightful, that kind of the Knicks have, that cringe, not to your point, the Tatum stuff.
But also way funnier because the Knicks guys, there's a wink to it. Jaylen Brown, if there's a wink, he conceals it really well. I mean, he's out there with this, like, wearing Beijing or whatever it's called in his hair and leaving smudges on people's uniforms.
That's a mark of a champion, Ben. There's a mark of a champion on your jersey. Amazing quote. Like, you did it good.
He's indignant, but then sometimes you think he's just having fun. I find him like one of the NBA's absolute most entertaining characters right now. And of course I root against him, but that's all just part of the fun of it. Jersey. I don't want him to fail. But I want the Celtics to lose every game. So
you have to care about something. Right.
Yeah.
If you told me Tatum had said something that was going viral, I'm like, If you told me Jaylen Brown did, I'm like, what did he say? I need
what did Tatum say? Job not done. Job not finished. Like, oh, come on, dude.
Jaylen Brown's being like, that was the best. You remember when I scored the most points?
Remember when this team was like not a duopoly? It was just sort of me running the show with a -9 on off. That was fire. That whole shit. That was as fun as it gets.
Authenticity, man. He's just being honest. It's great. It works. And I hope he transitions to being a podcaster. But there was a lot of talk from the ex-player podcast community about, I'm talking about Etan Thomas, maybe this was on Twitter, about how the end of the Game 7 was a mockery of true basketball, ethical basketball, because the Celtics didn't take it to the rack. They just settled for long threes. And this is culturally what's wrong with America.
And that's how the Celtics played all year. That's what they do.
The Celtics have been the unethical ones this whole time. This is how they kind of waltzed into a whoops championship, right? Yo, shout out to Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. Like truly great role players.
Well, this is what I was going to say, right? When Tatum came back, they shifted away from this new identity that was spamming threes, crashing offensive boards, lots of ball movement, just all these sort of anonymous white guys who were drafted in the second round, flinging up 25 footers. Okay, cool. That's a new look. And Brown would just sort of navigate in the middle of it and take as many shots as he wanted. But it worked. That was a system. It was a great offense. They were
good coach, good personnel, good idea.
Yeah, elite.
Yeah.
But when Tatum came back, it was sort of like that, you sort of like, wait, rubbing your eyes. Wait a minute. This is just a bad version of the team from last year.
Right.
You got rid of 3 all-star tier players who were masquerading as overqualified, over-credentialed role players in Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, and Al Horford. And now they're replaced by these guys and an injured Jason Tatum. Oh, wait. Fraud watch.
Yeah. I mean, I like Pritchard as an Asian brother. He's turned into a nice player. I like him quite a bit.
Wait, yeah, you talking about Fishhead Pritch?
Fishhead Chard, man, Arctic Chard over here. But yeah, I don't know. To be totally objective, like the Celtics didn't really do anything wrong. They got cold when they had to hit shots, but the Sixers were just like the better team. And I know the Celtics eliminated them in 5 games previously, and having a 7-game series I think is always better. I think you have to reward the better team, the higher seed, not to get surprised in a 5-game series. But at the end of the Celtics Sixers, I thought the better team had prevailed.
Yeah, I think so. And we've talked a lot about the Celtics because, like, being down, being up 3-1 and losing, just humiliating. I mean, it's got to be crushing for their fans and the members of the media who follow them and support them so lustily. It's got to be tough.
Lustily. Okay, so Derek White this summer on the trade block, he's declined. I think he's still an excellent player. Did you try to move Jaylen Brown? What is the ghost of Danny Ainge? What would the ghost of Danny Ainge do?
I have not dug through the salary ramifications, but that team doesn't seem to have a lot of moves because
they got to break it up now.
Because Tatum and Brown have those $60, $70 million contracts for a guy who is, in Tatum's case, hopefully can come back from Achilles, which is doubtful. Or I take that back, which TBD. We don't know. Like, can Tatum come back and be the same player post Achilles? It doesn't really happen. Hard. It's hard.
KD,
it's hard.
KD only.
And Brown is a good player who doesn't really help his team win that much. So without all those Porzingises and Drew Holidays and these Al Horfords, these incredible role players, you can't. It's very difficult to just replace those guys. Like, they were really smart, but remember, they blew their salary cap up to like this outrageous number, which you can't really do unless those guys are on your team. Like, you can't just say, "Hey, we're going to add a Drew Holiday now." You can't. Derek White makes like $40 million a year. Peyton Pritchard makes pretty good money. I just don't know how you cannot blow that team up and say we're going to run it back and just hope for different results because the personnel isn't there anymore.
Yeah, and I don't think if they ran it back, they would be bad at all.
No, I don't think so either.
But, I'm trying to think, is there enough assets in Sacramento to swap with Jaylen Brown to make them as good? Probably, if there is a GM out there, let's say or an owner, Miriam Adelson, if she's like, I want this superstar on my team. He's all NBA. He's of the right age. Just get him. Like, is there enough assets going back to Boston that would be compelling?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at it right now. and they are at about 173 million next year, with Tatum and Brown making 120 or around that. Yeah. Derek White making 30, Hauser making 10. Pritchard's on a good contract. So yeah, you got to try to move Jaylen Brown. You got to find some team dumb enough to take on his contract.
I agree. And this is not a knock on the Celtics, because like if the Knicks lose against the Sixers, they're going to have to probably deal something substantial, a core of their team. This is how it goes. The Sixers probably do the same thing if they don't win it all. We got to talk about Civil War now, man.
It's okay, but hold on. Yes, but let's talk a little bit about Knicks Hawks. I want to talk about that Game 6, which was a real spectacle, Andrew.
It's hard for me to hate the Hawks because I like the Hawks. I like the players on that team. Jalen Johnson, whatever, one and done bust factory. I like CJ McConnell, but then I remember he ruined the hobby for everybody. The 2 aprons on his watch. Ooh, send him down by as many points as historically possible.
That was an interesting game because the way that the schedule was set up, it started an hour before Philly Boston. And I was watching it at my family house. And there's going to be some debate, like which game are we watching? Some people wanted to watch the Sixers. Some people wanted to watch the Knicks. No, that debate didn't happen. 25 minutes in,
right?
25 minutes in, that game was just completely over.
Shocking.
Sometimes a team will go down 20 in the first quarter. You're like, whoa. And they'll go on to lose, and you'll say this game is over. But it's not really. You can come back from 20 down in the first quarter. It sucks, and it's hard to do, but it happens with some regularity. Down 50?
Strange. It was an OG Anunoby performance for the ages. They just hit their shots. I was maybe too pessimistic going into this series. I thought the Hawks were not the team I wanted to see between Toronto and Orlando. And as we said after game 1, it's just like, oh, the Knicks are too big and skilled. This might be light work. Coin flips, CJ McCollum gets them 2 games, and it's like, oh, that's stressful. Okay, that's 2 games in the bag for Atlanta. But then we saw, like, the Knicks should have swept them. They're just the better team. I was being not optimistic enough. And I thought the game 6 was kind of a release valve of that, just being like, we are just better. You guys are next, like not this year for you, after they dealt Porzingis away and Trae Young away. And CJ McCollum kind of says it going back to the Garden. He's like, I'm ecstatic to be 2-2 on this team because that's what we would hope for against them. So yeah, kind of put in this perspective.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the Knicks deserved to lose game 3.
Yeah.
And they still almost won it. They played like garbage and still came down to like a final second shot.
Yeah.
And then game 2, they just choked.
Yeah. Weird. It was weird.
I'm not judging anybody. I just mean that's what happened. They blew an enormous lead. The Hawks just made a bunch of threes and got super hot. You're like, wait. And then, the Knicks miss Mikal Bridges' last second shot. You're like, oh shit, we lost. Yeah. At no point did it feel like the Hawks were as good a team as the Knicks. It felt like the Knicks should have won that series in 5.
Yeah.
It felt like a 5-game series. But yeah, Hawks, I like what they're doing at the end of the day. Maybe if you have Porzingis, maybe that team is scarier. And that
Riza Shea being 0 is crazy.
But also, they have a good chance of getting like another top pick this year.
All right. I like that team build. Dyson Daniels, kind of exposed as more of a singularity than I would hope. He just cannot shoot, and he's kind of a mess on offense. Great defender, but like also not great enough maybe to play him all those minutes. I don't know. I certainly had feared the Hawks more going into the season, but a lot happens on the way to the Sixers in round 2.
So here's a cool stat leading into that. The players who logged the most minutes against Brunson, most possessions against Brunson, most half possessions against Brunson, however you want to calculate and amass these metrics. Number 1 during the regular season, Dyson Daniels. Number 2, VJ Edgecombe.
God damn it. Who has the edge in the Edgecombe Brunson matchup?
Well, VJ thus far has held Brunson to 33% field goal percentage. Not to say that will keep occurring, but for Brunson, you're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
What is this little gauntlet you've assembled? The 2 guys who guarded me the most, who are most acclimated to me and have done pretty good job. I have to face them round 1 and then round 2 back to back.
Yeah. But when the Knicks got going against the Hawks, they had started putting Cat on top of the key in a high pick and roll and having Brunson off the ball. So Cat was kind of in the thick of the actions. He wasn't starting them, but he was the guy dictating the result of that possession, sort of in the shade of Draymond Green and what he does with Steve Kerr, standing up there at 2 people cutting, and he kind of chooses, or he can step back and pop if he wants. Love it. This is why Cat's the best player on the Knicks, because he gives them options because of his size and because of his shooting. Nothing fancy. It's going to be ugly and perhaps zesty, depending on your definition of zesty. But I hope that the Knicks feature Cat to death against the Sixers.
I would presume that Embiid will guard him, mostly because they don't even have...
Bring him out.
Right, but they don't even have... Maybe they'll try not to, but unlike most teams who might stick a power forward, like a Tobias Harris, whatever, on Cat and say...
Yeah.
But Oubre's just too little. They don't actually have a
he's
regular
not that
size.
Little, but he's he's bigger than I thought.
Great athlete, springy, all that.
But he's very handsome.
Aura is incredible.
Yeah,
maybe the lowest field player in the NBA. But anyway, I don't think you can. You might try. I think that's tough, putting him on Cat on the perimeter, and Cat will they'll just move the court around and he'll just back him down. I don't mean Cat's gonna like cross from the perimeter, but if he's on him, he'll just march down and they'll just put him in the post. He's too little. He can't guard him down there.
No, he's gonna bring Joel out.
And Philly's really small. They are. I think the biggest issue for me is like if Joe is successfully dragged away from the paint, Philly is going to get massacred on the offensive boards. They might anyway, but especially with Joe out there. But I mean, Hart, Mitch, whoever. Philly is, I believe, the 26th ranked defensive rebounding team in the league. Granted, Joe missed a lot of time, but even with him on the floor, that lineup with him and Oubre, they cannot rebound. It's going to be an infuriating series for the Sixers faithful in terms of Knicks just second possession, third possession, fourth possession on one time down the court. It's going to be very annoying.
But to counter that, like we know the Sixers created Wingstop in order to match up against the Celtics. Now that the Celtics are
the Knicks, you mean? Right.
Yeah. Did I say the Sixers? I'm in the Knicks, yes.
Right.
Mikal, Hart, and OG were assembled to defeat the Jays, the Common Projects team. But now that the Sixers are there, like kind of the wrinkle is there for Embiid and Maxey. And going into the possibility of a round 1 matchup, I remember we settled at like maybe 60-40 Knicks over the Sixers. Embiid seems banged up. His left side, I believe, or his right side is fucked up. He maybe hyperextended his knee. We can't really get a clear diagnosis on purpose going into this series. We will know a little, but it might be a developing kind of lineup all series. I don't feel good about this as a Knicks fan, but I feel great about it as a Sixers fan.
Yeah, I think Philly's got a puncher's chance in the series.
More so. More than a puncher's chance.
But also, like, Paul George is a great player, and at times he gets a bit passive, but he's great. He's great.
Doesn't have to be aggressive with this team, though.
I just felt like there were times when they were going to Embiid every possession down. I'm like, PG, you're getting the ball and you're just quickly launching shots. We need you to cook a little bit. We need you to go ISO because that's been valuable for the team in the postseason. He's cooking whoever the Celtics put on him, and he would just kind of get the ball and like chuck up something. I was like, it's like PG, come on. And I think
the ball would swing to him and it'd be like, oh fuck, PG's on this team too.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, my attention's with VJ Edgecombe because, like, God, how they say the draft is always rigged no matter what the result is. I'm like, I don't think the NBA owners wanted the Sixers to get the number 3 pick, and the fact they added VJ Edgecombe, who was a KBB no-brainer, like, he's even better than I imagined him to be because I didn't think he would have this offensive game. He is the element that this tired Sixers team needed, right? Like all these Eric Gordons, Drummonds, Joel Embiid ain't what he used to be. Paul George is on steroids and hurt all the time. And then you got this aura farming bright guy to like make us forget about McCain for a second. And I'm like, this guy is the joy of basketball.
Yeah, VJ being ahead of schedule as a shooter has just made him so playable where you would have to consider, taking him off the floor or him or Oubre. And like, because those games when he was shooting poorly from 3 are the ones that the Celtics kind of beat their ass. It was like, oh, we can't score because there's just not enough shooting out here. But when he goes out and hits 4 or 5 threes and he steps into them with confidence, even after being in a slump, but like he has an incredibly confident approach for being 20, 21 years old. And
irrational, I would say.
And I was looking at those on-off numbers.
Yeah.
And in the Celtics series, he was the best on the team by far, just by far. He didn't shoot that well overall. He didn't score that well overall. He wasn't efficient. And he still was like plus 60, plus 70 or something while he was on the floor. He is just a winning player. And I mean, I always believed in the Ben and Joe combo. I was like, they are winning players. And for all the maligned that they get, malignment, whatever. But for all they get, they're winning players. They do the things that help you win games. You might not like the fact that Joel Embiid does this and flops. You might not like Ben Simmons not being able to shoot threes, but they make winning plays. And that's what I like about VJ.
Yeah. I mean, the evolution of the prospect is incredible. For him to arrive in Philly and do this seems like, oh, he's a top pick, whatever. I'm like, yo, this is kind of crazy. Because not only is he doing cool stuff, to your point, like he's doing all the other stuff that Jaylen Brown perhaps doesn't do. Like he has outlier skills and instincts that I'm like, this is wonderful.
Yeah, I that's what it is. It's his combination of, he's not a basketball genius, but he's in like the category that's very close. He's not there yet as a creator. He's not seeing the floor, but he's close. Like, and his athleticism and his instincts and his intelligence, it is a really amazing combo for a player that young that I didn't know he could do that stuff. I knew he was a great athlete. He was a little bit raw. He could throw some passes, but the fact is it's like there's a loose ball. VJ's got it.
Yeah.
There's something's got to happen.
There's a camera. VJ's winking at it for sure.
But he comes up with 1 or 2 basket saving blocks a game at 6'3", 6'4", where he just sees a play developing. It's like, I have to somehow get over there. And he just teleports.
The Sixers have been trying to add this player for years. Like whether that be nut allergies or like Matisse Thybulle. They've identified this player that they like, and then they got VJ and they're like, oh damn, he can also shoot a little bit. which is nice. We may have a mini star on our hands, which Thibault didn't promise to be. But Thibault was one of the more unique players. I really love him still, but he is just like is a strange, effective player. Um, it's gonna suck rooting against these Sixers, but fuck them.
Fuck those
Sixers.
Sixers.
Fuck the Sixers. That I switched.
You
See
said it.
that performatively? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
hate VJ. What does he know? He's just a rookie. He doesn't have experience. Oh, Tyrese Maxey never got out of the first round. Not worried about him. Joel Embiid's injuries, no dog. Paul George on roids. Knicks got this.
Tell me how you would match up from the Knicks' perspective. Starting lineup. I know it doesn't really matter. Or just tell me what you would do defensively, because ultimately teams can sort of pick and choose. You run enough screens, you can kind of get the person on you that you want. You know, like,
right.
I mean, Atlanta just had Brunson on the ball constantly, and the Knicks are like, we don't want Brunson on the ball. Like, it doesn't matter. Brunson's going to be on the ball, so figure it out. But how would you try to match up against sort of the Embiid, Maxey, just that lineup? Are you going with like a gimmick defense?
Well, like I love Wingstop because Mikal and Hart are so good at switching against wings that we saw that in the Jalen Johnson situation. Mikal had such a good defensive series, offensively up and down. But like, man, it was Jalen Johnson's superstar moment, and Mikal Bridges kind of like put that on pause. That kind of skill set is why they traded all those picks for him. And it doesn't really come to fruition against a player as big as Joel and as skilled as Joel and as fast as Maxey. Maxey's speed, the last time they played the Knicks, was an issue. I would almost concede that. Like, we're not going to really slow down Maxey, who's gotten better in the last 2 years. But the Knicks have no choice but to try the same strategy against the Sixers that they did against the Hawks. And this is what I mean. If you assemble Wingstop, you just have to use Wingstop. And I think OG is the biggest of the three, and he would have to do the heavy switching when he's on Embiid.
I might put Hart on Oubre and have him just play in the lane.
But that's not a strategy. That's what Hart does with every four, right?
I only mean that, like, I wouldn't try. I think they put Brunson on VJ.
Yeah,
because VJ doesn't really post.
And this is not static. As soon as you switch, everything.
Yeah. I'm saying, and the Sixers are going to try to get Brunson on Maxey so Maxey can cook him off the dribble. That's just what the Philly is going to try to do.
It'll happen.
And it'll happen. But I do think that, like, they're going to do exactly what Boston did. Not guard Kelly Oubre, and his man is going to be waiting in the paint for Maxey. And they really did a good job on Maxey until some big fourth quarters for the most part. Like, he was not getting to the basket with that much regularity. He wasn't able to, get a lot of threes. So I think the repetition of that strategy is like pretty inevitable.
Would you do the Mike Brown adjustment that he showed in the second half of the season where you drive the ball handler to the corners?
Well, Philly is just going to run. They basically spam Embiid post-ups, Maxey ISOs, and a PNR with those guys or Paul George. Like, they don't run a lot of stuff.
Not to be all Mark Jackson about this, but the high pick and roll presents itself as like a real option with these two teams. I'm not saying that the Warriors, it worked when he was dismissed and Kerr just switched that all up. But the high pick and roll works for both teams, doesn't it, in this series?
Yeah, I mean, there was a good viral clip of Philly running the same pick and roll action against the Knicks like 7 times in a row and scoring on all of them. Maybe it was 5 times in a row. And it's a simple alignment, and we will absolutely see it in game 1. I mean, it was very successful. And it's basically having open side pick and roll with Joel rolling into the space on the left side. And then you have an action on the other side where there's like 2 guys in the corner, one setting a back screen for Paul George. And if Cat doesn't go out there, they swing the ball to Paul George and he takes a three. If they miss the cutter, he goes in for a dunk, or they just give it to Joel and he goes ISO. Philly will probably run that into the ground, to be honest.
Yeah, and all these nuances are like gonna be the style that makes this fight, but also the dumbest variable is, can Joel Embiid feel good? I think he's gonna after end beer while we're having a cookies watch party and someone's yapping to me about how Brunson just wants it more and has that dog. I am just going to be like, is the next possession, is Embiid going to go down in the next possession or the next one or the next one?
I mean, this is the kind of delicious speculation that makes the Eastern Conference so much more interesting than the West.
Wait, there's another conference? Is it the Western Eastern Conference?
I liked LeBron advancing. Cool. I liked watching Jaden McDaniels talk his shit and back it up. That was cool.
SGA not missing in the fourth or OT. Awesome.
Good basketball teams. The East is just like kind of where the fun is this year.
Man, people are debating Williamsburg. They're talking about smash burgers on Twitter. Now you're doing the whole New York versus LA, East Coast, West Coast thing. What year is this?
Yeah, the West, I feel as if we sort of see where it's headed and everyone understands that the Western Conference Finals is probably going to be OKC, San Antonio, and everyone else is just sort of in the way. Also, Luka being out, Ant being hurt, it took some of the luster out of those other two series as they were leading into these, Durant being out. So they've kind of gotten dinged up by injuries, and it was also just less weird. I mean, Orlando going up 3-1 and then scoring 15 points or whatever it was in the second half. Sixers coming back from 3-1. The RJ Barrett hitting a magnetic rim, bounce. The East has just been fun and weird.
As an RJ Barrett day one.
Day one.
Knew he would hit that shot. I always believed in RJ Barrett.
You're there in your RJ Barrett jersey.
I mean,
whateverist king.
If I can fire an RJ Barrett irrational take, it would be the East has always been more interesting than the West. And I don't know if it's because our country started on the East Coast, but or it has the advantage of the time zones where things happen 3, 4, 5 hours before it hits the West Coast. But I don't know. The Yankees are always more interesting than the Dodgers. The Knicks and Celtics are always more interesting than the Lakers. Pizza's always better here. We got tacos now. Whatever, But it's wild because we might be witnessing the greatest player of all time in his final act out west, and also the three current possible greatest players of all time out west. But all the drama is in the East, and I wonder if it's about selective attention or a media savvy that the media itself kind of creates around these simulations or news events, where we have a basic basketball game, but the chatter around it is so what's the right word? Not nuanced, not traditional, but enthusiastic, that it doesn't translate 4 hours later when a game occurs or a take occurs in the West Coast.
Well, my very, very simple answer is that 80% of Americans, from what I understand, I've learned, live in the Eastern Conference, live in either the East or Central time zones, which is essentially the Eastern Conference. So it's odd how late Western games are on. You're like, why is this ending at 1? The West Coast audience, which is
I go to sleep. I'm asleep.
It's also just a small amount of the population comparatively. And by all means, people should be able to watch their own teams in, time zones that fit their market. I get it. If
But
you're in
I believe in
LA,
basketball electoral college, man. Like if you got LeBron James and Wemby playing games, doesn't matter who lives out there. It's fucking Wemby.
oh, I get it. I mean, the reason that like you live in LA and you have the games at 7 is because people have to go after work, right? That's I'm saying less for
Yeah.
the viewership than saying, okay, all the Sacramento Kings loyalists, yeah, you got a good game today. It's going to be on at 2 your time on a Wednesday. We just kind of want to put that on, at 5 p.m. for the Eastern Coast heads.
We
So I
consume games
understand that
quick.
part.
Yeah.
But it is wild though, because it's 50% of America lives in Eastern time zone and 30% lives in Central. That's
Yeah.
it. That's basically everyone in the country.
Yeah.
80% are in those two time zones. So
But
yeah,
like
that's part of the reason that there's an
the
East Coast bias for sure.
and weather's a big deal, and that's why Hollywood happens out there. But they don't even film that much in Hollywood outside anymore. How come
They
the
don't
East
even
Coast?
make movies. No one wants to work.
All right, they're in jail and they're cooking Italian food, and there's a razor blade. Um, but like, yeah, how come the East Coast has not been able to produce Hollywood type thing? How come tech is mostly out in Cupertino or San Francisco?
Dude,
There
me and all my buddies from Palo Alto, we're coming up with an app to rate the best bazungas out there. The best cannons. It's the future of the world. I'm going to be the most powerful person on the planet by my bazunga calculator.
I can imagine that dude just like watching a LA Dodgers game and be like, Shohei Otani's got that cannon. You know who else has that cannon? My boss.
My Serbian boss.
Yeah. But
Serbians down bad these days, man.
wow. Wow. That's a whole nother perfect segment. But I don't mean to be a dick about the West Coast, but it is weird how the gravity of these NBA playoffs are always where they are. Philly, Boston, New York, not even Chicago. I know they're not in it this year, but like post Jordan, it's all these like three cities.
And also, I think they're like very original franchise
That's what I mean.
basketball
Like,
cities too.
and these conversations are all traditional. Like we always talk about the folk song or like the retelling of the same stories, like the box made into a third movie, but based on the same story. But like the debates we're having about Jokic, right? It's like this is why math doesn't work. Look at him out in the first round. Like, should we rescind his 3 MVPs? Should we take away his championship? He's a fraud. And I'm like, we're just doing the songbird thing.
The fact that people still believe that there is this ongoing war between people who like metrics and people who, you know, are games watchers is very strange, and it's only one sided. Like it's only that. Guess your abacus didn't predict that you'd lose to Nas Reed and company. Well, who? But that said, there are some weirdos on the side of Jokic, and I'm not saying you're one of them. Well, I mean, you're a weirdo on the side of Jokic, but you're not one of the ones I'm referring to. Those guys from that one podcast, the stuff they were saying was pretty damn racist sounding. And
Wait,
it's like,
which one?
I guess they were Denver guys, and they were just sort of like, talking about like how like a lot of the Minnesota guys, all of who were like coincidentally black, were just sort of like,
Don't talk shit about Julius Randle. I love that man.
he was talking about him and Bones and McDaniels. Just kind of, I don't know. I mean, they're just Denver gets a little weird, I think, with the racial stuff and Jokic.
I thought Barstool was gonna go heavy into that. I thought Barstool was gonna cash in on that whole lane. Or Fox News, Fox Sports, like there's knuckleheads out there who gaslight everything. Not only nerds or tech or the idea of conservative values, MAGA, but right, there's definitely racism and undertones that are still happening.
I mean, we saw it with Caitlin Clark, of course. what's funny about the Jokic stuff is that there's no indication Jokic cares about any of that shit. Who knows what Jokic believes? He's just a Serbian guy who's, he might have
Horses.
but I mean, he might have some negative feelings about different races or cultures or religions. We have no idea.
Imposing.
So I'm saying, like, we don't know what he actually thinks because he doesn't share it. So he's not a good ally if you're a racist. He's European.
Right.
Same with Luka. Luka, right. We know is not racist because he was obsessed with LeBron James, and like Luka clearly is not.
We kind of know Jokic is not racist. I would say Jokic is not racist.
I just mean if you wanted to lean in and be like, "This is awesome," like the best players in the league are white. They aren't even like rolling with you on that.
Yeah, not to be like a Jesse Owens Olympic thing, but if you were a basketball player, it's hard to be racist because your competition looks so different. And when Jeremy Lin torches you, you're like, I can go for some mapo tofu.
Also, it's like, okay, all right, we need some conservative whites. What do you think about Cooper Flagg? Name's Flagg. You're like, all you have to do is hear him talk, and you're like, nope, nah. Yeah. Cooper Flagg's not going to be the racist guy. His favorite album is a Young Thug record. No, that's not going to work. Okay, we got one. He's from Milwaukee. His name's Tyler Hero.
Right. Like, no. What about Con Knipple? It's like, oh, he gets along with LaMelo. That's not going to work.
All right, we got this guy, Chet Holmgren. Sounds like sounds real white.
What's his favorite food? No. Yeah, I just think like in 2026 with the degree of competition, if a human being shows up at this level, them being racist is not really a high probability, but the way people talk about basketball players is nasty, and it is. We stop talking about, when we talk about threes and math, I always say we stopped talking about basketball a while ago. And then sometimes I haven't heard this pod, but sometimes like I'm just like, come out and say it. Like, don't just say it. We have the president saying all these awful things and not filtering himself. I'm like, we can handle it.
Well, I think, it's both part of the appeal and part of a bit sad about how the playoffs work and how this trajectory. And I don't want to sound mournful of it because it is part of the fun. One of the guys from Chapo was like, every playoff series, like an NBA All-Star gets put inside the Wicker Man. And I'm like, it's true. And it's like
the rage cage.
It's like, it's true. Right. It's like, Jokic, I know you're a 3-time MVP. I know you've won a championship. Get in there, buddy. It's your turn to burn.
But who's not in the main Wicker Man is Jaylen Brown. He's not going through the same stuff Jokic did a week ago.
He kind of is today.
Oh, is he? I haven't checked.
Oh, yeah.
He's both those guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's just true. If you lose, unless you did something spectacular, it's like, buddy, get in the Wicker Man. Get in there.
I mean, the only
Banchero, you know where to go.
The only weaknesses SGA has, or Jokic has, or Wemby has, to be honest, is that they're not shooting guards for the Bulls in the 1990s. Like, there's no pleasing that. If you ask like a Christian person or a Hindu person or a Muslim person to accept a different life point of view, or to accept like to break one of their rules, they'd be like, politely or not politely, no. There's no changing these minds, right? If you are a evangelist for your youth through Michael Jordan and ISO, low scoring, punching basketball, I'm not going to change your mind with like being a fan of SGA. Like, we should just like segregate these people into a different category so we can enjoy what's happening in this playoff.
I will say though, Jokic was a little surly that series, and it was fun. I kind of enjoyed seeing that side of him, but him getting really testy after the game and shoving people, and I was just like,
he does the
all
same
right,
with your chest. He loves to chest up on people with his
yeah.
cannons.
Yeah, he was the
He's
one
big.
time he held onto the ball and wouldn't give it back. I was like, you know what, Jokic is sort of courting a negative reaction out there, you know.
Him and his brothers have been in many bar fights. I think that is observable when you see them on the court. I think Jokic is under his best behavior because for one reason or another, I find him to be a delightful superstar. I don't know if I want to hang out with him like I do other players, but it's like, of course, yo, we were worried that the saltiness and anger and vitriol of the 90s NBA was gone forever. It is not, right? Shout out to Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, we had some little squabbles. Here's what I liked most about not to go back to the Sixers Knicks series, the
This is
Cookie
your
Civil War
moment.
2. My thing is, we needed Joel to be a villain in the Garden more than once in his career. We were sort of robbed by that, by those teams not overlapping exactly right, Joel getting hurt, and it just didn't work out right.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
He's done it once, and he made every Knicks fan hate his guts forever off of like one very fun series, like the Mitchell Robinson stuff, just kicking people in the balls. Like, he's of course going to send Bing Bong Nation into delirium. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited to watch that happen tonight.
You press that button, someone's gonna die. Joel Embiid, is he gonna die? Slamming that button.
It's not like me after this, right? Like someone else gets the box. It's not me. Like it's Joel Embiid.
It's Joel
and
Embiid.
Maybe after him, it's like Tyrese Maxey. Well, he's kind of cool. I don't know. Maybe Paul George. Maybe he's gonna.
Yeah. My wonderful neighbor who I've been talking to throughout this season, he has this irrational confidence that VJ does, and he's just like, Knicks, light work, championship. We're going to be celebrating in a couple months. Me, obviously not. Does not have that point of view. And then we were talking about the second round, and he was just like, Joel Embiid's not even good. And I'm like, wait a second, we're talking about an MVP award winner. You have to be good to get one of those. He's like, no, people just got tired of Jokic. He won as a default. Like, he's never shown me anything. And I was like, okay, he hasn't made it past like a certain round. I believe it's the second round in his career, but like, I've never seen a big man as skilled. And he was like, this is why I don't trust your basketball takes, because you like Joel Embiid. I'm like, let's go. This week is going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's so fun. And I think we sort of have to, especially with his injuries, you have to be grateful. Like, I'm really grateful that the Sixers not only beat the Celtics, but are like going to play the Knicks. That's much more fun than if they were playing the Pistons. I'm amped for the war. And also, if the Knicks are going to make a playoff run, going through Atlanta, Philly, Detroit is about as like fun as it gets.
This league, I'm really enjoying this, man. It's like, I wish the Celtics were still in it, but I'm really happy that the Sixers are. I also like, a part of me just wants Joel to win a championship really badly. Like, I don't wish for anyone's lung to collapse, but there's 5 or 6 guys I wish their lungs would collapse and Joel's would not. You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing is funny is, like, you sort of talked about this, during All-Star weekend or whatever, like all the grumbling, or even after that, but kind of the dog days of the regular season, all the constant griping and grumbling about tanking. You're like, in like 2 weeks, no one's going to be talking about this because the playoffs will start and it's the best. And the NBA is just playing out the string, and they know that all their garbage, all their stupid ads on their uniforms and the split screens and the gambling, we all put up with that amount of just craven, greedy bullshit because the game itself is so good and the players are so good at the sport, and it's just something that we love. We'll put up with all your trash, your 7 different channels that we have to watch this on, because we get to see RJ Barrett bounce a ball off of like the scoreboard and win a game.
Incredible. I was screaming. It was amazing. That Halliburton shot still haunts me. But you know what doesn't haunt me?
You know, it's still amazing.
Shout out to some watch parties we're going to have. So keep your eyes peeled on our IG account.
Yeah.
I love cookies. I love cookies. I love cookies.